John, thank you very much indeed. Prime Minister, Minister Onodera, Ministers, Excellencies, it's a real pleasure to be here, as you've indicated, for the first time at the Shangri-la Dialogue. And I want to begin by congratulating the International Institute for Security Studies for hosting and putting together this extraordinary event yet again. I hope that the fact that I'm here sends a very strong message of the real interest that the European Union has and the European Union's commitment to Asian security issues. It's also, of course, why I'll be attending the ASEAN Regional Forum next month in Brunei. We believe from the European Union that we have a dual contribution to make to security in the region and beyond. First, by offering to be a true long-term partner on security issues. And second, by being an effective and innovative one through our ability to implement what we describe as a comprehensive approach, particularly suited to the new challenges that we all face. Other speakers have already indicated, and everyone in this room is aware, that our century poses new security challenges that affect us all, everywhere in the world. And we can only deal with them if we work together. So for us, working with many Asian countries is an opportunity for cooperation and strong partnership to tackle common problems. Both the European Union and Asia share the objective of securing peace and prosperity in our regions and beyond. For example, we are partners facing global problems, non-proliferation, terrorism and violent extremism, and jointly face the threats of climate change and energy security. Non-proliferation is obviously a key challenge for all of us. I am, as you know, mandated by the UN Security Council to lead the negotiations with Iran on its nuclear program on behalf of the E3+3 group, in order to try and build confidence for the international community in the nature of the Iranian program. When I look at this region, I see the DPRK nuclear tests as a big challenge to the global non-proliferation regime and a violation of their international obligations not to produce or test nuclear weapons. So we're working with our partners to build a firm and unified response aimed at demonstrating to DPRK that there are consequences for continued violation. Terrorism and extremism pose a threat to our peaceful coexistence. We have a shared interest in working together to prevent it in all its forms. The spread of terrorism and extremism are, if you like, the negative sides of globalization. So we need to be equally global in our work to counter these threats, be that through our police training in Afghanistan or support for justice reform in Pakistan. And cyber attacks, mentioned already this morning, are not, of course, just a military threat. They can affect our daily lives by targeting critical infrastructure, energy grids, hospitals, and so on. Climate change, too, poses a growing and imminent risk to us all. If this leads to parts of our continents becoming uninhabitable as a result of severe drought or flood, the effects could be disastrous. And of course, greater prosperity for all of us depends on our ability to secure energy resources, despite increasing scarcity, while at the same time avoiding this becoming a source of any conflict. So we all face the same threats. And today I'm here to reinforce our deep commitment to promoting global security and prosperity, not, of course, as an Asian power, but as an Asian partner. Now, many of you know we already have a partnership with Asia, but I believe we can do much more to deepen our cooperation even further. Our commitment to security and stability in this region is for the long term. We will continue to be an active and constructive member of the ASEAN Regional Forum. Last year, we signed the Amity and Cooperation Treaty, and we look forward to the prospect of joining the East Asia Summit. And the new generation of partnership and cooperation agreements, which we've recently concluded with Indonesia, Vietnam, the Philippines, Thailand, a few weeks ago with Mongolia, and are concluding with Singapore, these provide us with an ambitious framework for cooperation in fighting terrorism, human trafficking, and countering proliferation. And talks are underway to have similar agreements with Brunei, Malaysia, Australia, and New Zealand. One of the great examples of our partnership is the work we do together on disaster prevention and response with ASEAN and with individual countries. We've provided €52.6 million to help the victims of natural disasters, and we're currently establishing a regional network of information sharing and early warning systems for emergency situations with ASEAN. We're supporting the ASEAN Centre for Humanitarian Response as well, and recently participated, bringing over 60 people to work together in disaster and relief exercises under the ASEAN Regional Forum. We also work together on civilian and military operations. We've concluded framework agreements with New Zealand, hope to sign soon with Australia and South Korea for participation in European Union-led missions. And we look forward to further participation in worldwide missions from all our partners in the Asia-Pacific. So our partnership on the full range of security challenges is strong and growing, which brings me to why I think the European Union is now an even more effective and innovative partner. My contention is that our strength lies in our ability to respond to a crisis with a wide range of tools and instruments, short, long-term, humanitarian and development, security and political. We call it a comprehensive approach because we believe it's an approach that's particularly suited to tackling the security challenges we face today. For us, it means combining hard and soft power to achieve lasting security and prosperity. And this approach, we believe, makes us a unique global partner for Asia on security issues. It comes from the changes that we made when we took on the Lisbon Treaty, which created my job, combining the job previously done by 3 people and allowing me to create a European External Action Service, a service that is more than a foreign ministry because it combines elements of development and of defence. And it's that blend of competencies that allows the European Union to deal not only with the symptoms of crisis or security problems, but also with the underlying causes. Our approach, in fact, combines diplomacy, development, and defence assets. A good example of this in action, and one that's particularly relevant in Asia, is the threat posed by maritime piracy. As many of you know, we've been engaged for several years in fighting piracy in the Horn of Africa. Our actions off the coast of Somalia are especially relevant to our Asian partners for a number of reasons. First of all, seafarers from Asian countries pay the highest price. Of the 54 hostages currently being held by pirates, 53 are nationals from Asian countries. Secondly, piracy is a particular challenge in this region, and our success in the Horn of Africa and the great cooperation we've enjoyed with Asian partners can make a real contribution to developing a regional approach to tackling piracy in Asia. When I first began in my role, our response was fragmented. We had a naval mission of 8 warships, 3 maritime patrol and reconnaissance aircraft, and 4 detachments for the protection of the World Food Programme, catching pirates off the Horn. But it wasn't linked to our development policy, rule of law, or support for any kind of regional strategy. We were, in effect, dealing with the symptoms, but not dealing with the underlying causes. Today, our mission operates within the framework of a European Union comprehensive strategy to the Horn of Africa, which includes economic and development assistance to the Somali government, rule of law support to other countries in the region, transfer agreements for the detention and prosecution of pirates, a counter-terrorism strategy aimed at combating extremism, a military training mission, and a land-based counter-piracy mission. The naval mission has involved 21 EU member states and 2,000 personnel. and we've been able to count on the excellent cooperation with the navies of many countries from Asia, from Australia, from China, India, Japan, Pakistan, and South Korea, with which we conduct and coordinate joint escorts and exchanges of information on the ground. And part of this broader strategy has shown impressive results. In the last 2 years, piracy off the coast of Somalia has decreased by 95%. We've detained and transferred 149 suspected pirates to judicial authorities for prosecution and conviction through a network of agreements with the coastal countries. 37 million euros has been targeted at strengthening their legal systems. I've appointed a special representative to oversee the implementation of this strategy and to engage with authorities locally to ensure our solutions are tailor-made to the needs on the ground. We've also made available significant development aid, 504 million euros for education to prevent young people from engaging in piracy, for the reform of governance and the rule of law, as well as an additional 242 million euros in humanitarian aid to help those affected by the crisis. But the comprehensive approach is not only about tackling crises, it's about bringing the full support of the European Union to support transition to reinforce security and stability. A number of colleagues have already mentioned the situation of change in Myanmar. We've lifted our sanctions, and before the end of the year, I will travel to lead a task force that will give crucial support to the transition process. This is a concept that I've developed. I describe it as politics meets economics, which brings together all of the European Union resources and the different people who can offer additional support, including the private sector, in support of a democratic transition. We've been working with countries in our region, in Tunisia, in Egypt, in Jordan. And in Myanmar, we're looking to support the leadership of President Thein Sein and of Daw Aung San Suu Kyi to ensure a successful transition. And that's why we've also opened a peace centre in Yangon and are contributing to enhancing their crisis response system through the establishment of a crisis response centre. So in conclusion, I would say this. In a world where we face multiple and continually evolving security threats, building strong partnerships between like-minded regions has never been more important. We believe the EU is a true Asian partner. Our interest is not in projecting power, but in empowering. And we believe our unique comprehensive approach can make us a highly effective partner. Together, we can make the world a safer place. Thank you.